I can deal with that noise. I think it's Peyton's hair dryer for real. But
Probably.
anyways, welcome back to the Terrible Influence Podcast. This is take 2 of the intro.
Take 2.
Golden State Warriors won the NBA championship. We got my dad on today. We got my brother on today.
Hello.
This is Father's Day special part 2. So we got my biological father on today. You doing all right, man? Doing all right?
I'm doing good. Happy to be able to celebrate Father's Day.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. What you getting for Father's Day?
What do you mean? What am I receiving?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I guess I should say Happy Father's Day to Joshua since he is his father too.
You forget or something?
No, I didn't forget.
He said that like, oh shit, I forgot he had kids.
That's right. I got grandchildren. Shit.
Y'all are horrible.
Loosen up, man.
Terrible. That's right, terrible.
Loosen up.
I didn't raise y'all. I raised y'all to be better than this.
Better than what? Doing a podcast?
Funny.
Oh my god.
Telling jokes.
I raised y'all better to be terrible.
It's just the name of the podcast.
I'm just messing.
We on the. Did you
Can
watch?
you not take a joke?
In the last podcast, I said people should skip school or do drugs instead of shooting up school. So
I haven't watched that one yet. That's nice. That's real nice.
I mean, it's better than shooting up a school, ain't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
No.
I think we're all in agreement.
I'm not really sure what's the worst of two evils. I don't get it.
I'd rather somebody be doing heroin than kill kids.
I can't say I agree with that. Not saying that I want
What the
anybody to kill
fuck?
kids. I'm saying I don't want they shouldn't be doing heroin either.
I agree. But if it's the lesser of the two
Well, at
evils.
least they'll be killing themselves and not kids.
It's the lesser of the two evils.
It is the lesser. You're right, I guess.
You know,
Golly.
you gotta take a sacrifice sometimes.
I'm glad.
I'm not getting back into that. I'm not.
All right, anyways, we're going to get into it, man. So, it's Father's Day. Shout out to all the dads out there, man. The single dads, the married dads, the dads that had to step up, Last podcast, I already had my beef last podcast, so I ain't even gonna say it.
You had some beef on the last podcast?
I didn't have beef, but we were talking about Chad. Fuck Chad.
Oh, I don't even know why we have to bring him up.
You asked, man.
Anyways, back to current events. How else has everybody's week been?
It's been all right, man.
What's been getting into?
I worked 6 days this week. That kind of sucked.
You get there. I got a new job. I'm not exactly gonna say where, but
I will. I'll say the address right now.
You better fucking not. You have to go back and edit out. That's more work for yourself. But I got a new job. I start Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to that.
That was your week.
That's all. It was slow week. Didn't get very many hours this week, but
Slow week is easy week, though.
yeah. But I like to work.
It's been hot, man. We live in the southeast.
fucking
We
God.
live in the southeast. We're
It's
going through this
stupid
massive
hot.
heat wave right now. I don't know how many other of our viewers are in the southeast.
We can just
or
tell
what.
them we live in South Carolina, bro. It's not.
No.
If they find us in South Carolina, I
No.
guess we deserve it.
No, I want you to go back and blur out the Greenville on my shirt. No, no names.
I don't get. I'm pretty sure people know like this city I stay in. Everybody that watches knows me.
No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Everybody that watches knows who I am.
Yeah, I'm not.
Hey, we got to go back. We got to start blurring.
I don't know. You had
faces,
one that
voice
had like
changes.
200 and something viewers.
I know
mean, I don't know if you.
that one did really good, but I think it's because of TikTok.
Nothing wrong with that.
That one did really, but
But I'd have to say, I don't think you know 237 people like that.
not like that. But you know what? I think these next few weeks, I'm definitely gonna put my head down and start doing like more content, like TikToks or clips or something like that. And I think here in the next few weeks, I'm gonna do a Q&A, a question,
I don't see why not.
because I think that would be fun. So
That would be fun.
but
Am I
anyway,
allowed to send in questions even though I'm going to be on it?
yeah, you can send in questions.
Even though I'm going to be on it? Cool. Do I get to read the questions?
I don't know if you're gonna be on it.
Matthew, come on. Let's be real.
I'm be real.
Come on.
I'm gonna see if the boys want to do it next week. I miss them being on the pod.
And I still come. Wow, I feel.
I don't like doing 5 people podcasts.
You just going to kick me
Was
to
it
the
just
side
too many
like
people?
that.
Yeah, it's just, well, 1, I don't have enough mics, and then 2, yeah, it's just too many people.
This is my 5th.
And I don't have a big enough area. Like, it's kind of hard to get everybody in the camera when we have 5 people.
Right.
I don't know if you watched the 5-man podcast, but like
Yeah.
some people were cut out a little bit. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it was fun, but I don't know if I'll do a 5-man podcast again.
So I've been on 5 straight episodes. And you just going to kick me out just like that.
The guys have been on multiple episodes, and they haven't been on in like 4 weeks.
5.
5 weeks? Well, granted, 2 of these weeks are for Father's Day, so
Yeah.
But,
3.
yeah. But anyways, we're gonna get into it, man. We're gonna get into it. So, where we're gonna start at is what was it like? First of all, how old are you?
43.
43, man. Yeah. Oof. All right, you're closer to 30 than 20. Remember that. Anyways,
You tell me all the time.
What I never understood was you kids go, y'all old, you old man. You do realize you're going to be an old man one day too, right?
and then my kids would call me old man.
I'm gonna
Just
hate
the way
every
life
second
goes.
of being old.
You're right. It's the way life goes, but it's, you shouldn't pick on the old man when you're going to be, you're
Nobody's
going
picking on you.
to be an old man one day too.
I know.
I'm
Anyway,
picking on
so you're 40. What year were you born?
1978.
1978. So, I kind of want to just go through. We ain't gotta have like the whole life story, but I kind of just want to go through like what was it like growing up for you, and especially through like the 80s, because that's kind of the 80s. I mean, that's when you kind of became like a teenager.
Man, I
guess.
miss the 80s and
But,
the 90s. The 90s was the best. The 90s were the best.
So, what was it like? What was it like growing up for you? And for the people that don't know, my dad he grew up in Tampa, Florida, so he didn't really grow up in like a small town or anything. He grew up in a pretty big place. So, what was it like growing up for you in Florida? And how was your childhood? And I mean, you ain't gotta give us every detail, but just kind of give us the rundown.
I mean, it was nice. I didn't live far from the beach, so that was always fun. I could go to the beach pretty much anytime I wanted, and then we lived near a big Air Force base, so that was fun. I mean, there was always something going on in Tampa. So we did the Gasparilla Parade and the Guavaween, which is a Halloween parade. I mean, we did it big all the time in Tampa. It was fun. You had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, go Bucks. I don't care what y'all
He
say.
probably wore like the big like parachute puffy pants with like the multiple zippers.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't get into MC Hammer pants.
Dad was definitely the guy that wore jean shorts down to his ankles.
Either that or the hammer pants, like the MC Hammer pants.
No MC Hammer pants for me. That wasn't my thing.
Was it the jorts?
I'm not even sure what those are.
Jean shorts.
Jean shorts.
It was the jorts.
You definitely had them big ass jean shorts. I know you did.
Maybe.
There's
There's
some
no
of
maybe to
I
it.
think
You
I still
definitely
have
wore them big ass jean shorts.
Jordans were popular, but they weren't as popular as the thing that was popular when I was growing up was the Adidas.
The shell toe ones?
Not the shell toe ones. What do they call them? They're just plain white Adidas. Like that was like everybody had those. We didn't run around with Jordans.
Converse were pretty popular when you were.
Yeah, Converse were popular. Yeah, especially the ones that were like boots and you could roll them down and make them shoes. The high tops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those were popular. Yeah, there's a lot of different things. Like we didn't have cell phones. Like I didn't grow up with no dang cell phone. Heck, I bought a beeper when I was 16. A beeper. Y'all know that? Y'all don't even know what a beeper is?
I know what a pager is. I have no fucking clue what a beeper
Yeah,
is.
pager's the same thing.
You ever
Beeper.
seen the movie White Boy Can't Jump?
Yeah.
White Boy Can't Jump. I feel like that was Dad.
You used to hoop back in the day?
I played more soccer than I did basketball. I wasn't great at basketball.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I was a white man that can't jump.
I heard that.
I could run and kick a ball though, like hell.
So growing up in Tampa, Florida, what other than like what did you do when you were a kid? You go outside a lot, or did you? Did you ever have like when did the Atari come out?
We stayed outside, and I'm not that damn old.
I know you're not that old. I'm saying like, was there like video games around when you were growing up?
Yeah,
like,
Nintendo. Like my first video game was a Nintendo with Mario Brothers and Mario Kart. And
NES or SNES? Do you remember?
the NES, the regular, the first one, the gray one where you had to blow in the thing, blow in at the end of the tape, and you don't know nothing about that. Do you?
So back
You had to do that with like the NES, the SNES, and the 64.
Yeah,
and
you have to wiggle the video game, and
64. You
it's
had to
crazy.
like, stick pencils into.
And were you considered rich if you had one of them?
No, they weren't no $1,000 games like they are now. They were like, they were $100, $200 when they came out.
The NES
It's kind of like an
was
Xbox. Well, no, I ain't.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no,
Xbox
Xbox
like
like
$500,
$500, $800.
Yeah.
the NES was really the first home gaming system that was really readily available to the market.
Well, I know that. I just
Before
didn't
that,
know-
they were pretty expensive, and after that, they kind of started to go back in price with inflation and everybody else.
Yeah, I just
But
didn't
for
know.
the most part, like the NES and the SNES, that was the first iteration of really home gaming where they had dropped the prices to a lower price in order to push them out of people's homes.
I know that. I just didn't know what was popping around the 80s.
I used to play video games like y'all do, like y'all did or whatever. I would spend hours and hours and hours on a game. But before that, and even during that time, I was made to go outside. There was no sitting in the house all day long. I was outside constantly, all the time, every day, all day.
Did you live in a neighborhood? Did you have like a lot of friends around the neighborhood and stuff like that?
Yeah, I lived in a neighborhood, and there was a bunch of kids like my age and stuff around. So yeah, there's always something to do. But we weren't allowed to stay in the house. That was not an option for me.
Now, see, one thing you have to touch on,
And like another thing that we didn't have that we have nowadays is like caller ID and stuff. When you picked up the phone, when you answered the phone,
You're gambling, buddy.
you're gambling. Yeah, exactly. You're gambling. You didn't know who was gonna be on the other end if you wanted to talk.
Could have
to
been the
them or not.
IRS.
Like,
Could have been your
I
son.
really want these motherfuckers to know if I'm home or not. Like,
but
so,
see,
yeah.
like, I also, something I want to bring up about Dad's childhood, which I've always thought was cool, was like back in the 80s, I've talked about wrestling here on the like podcast before. 80s, like Tampa was one of the hotbeds of wrestling.
Oh yeah, that's where it
And
started.
so like Dad's told me all kind of stories about like him meeting like Hulk Hogan and all these different kind of like 80s and 90s wrestlers that would like come through Tampa and like to either train or like take a little break off and things like that.
Oh yeah.
To touch on that for a minute, because that's kind of cool.
Wrestling was huge in Tampa. That's where it's pretty much started, was in Tampa. And in fact, my great grandmother, y'all's great grandmother, used to house the wrestlers. She had like a mother-in-law suite in the backyard, and she was a wrestling freak. She loved wrestling. You don't tell her it was fake. Don't even try to act like it was fake. She would get mad about that. It was not fake to her, and she loved it. A bunch of them come through. They would rent like a house and stuff, and behind her house they'd rent out a room and stuff and stay there. And Hulk Hogan's mom and dad lived like 3 blocks down from my house when I was growing up. So of course, when he would come visit, they would make a little neighborhood announcement to the kids so that they can come and be there when he got there and get his autograph and whatnot. And I got to meet him a couple times, and yeah, I met a bunch of the wrestlers. Wrestling was big. There was no UFC back then, and boxing was pretty big too. But wrestling was readily available. It was all the time.
Was Ali still fighting when you were growing up?
No, I wasn't not that old, son.
No, he was like, if I remember correctly, I don't want to age you too much, but if I remember correctly, you were like around for the golden age of Tyson, right?
Yeah.
How was it watching Tyson fight?
I was around. I got to watch Tyson from his beginnings. Very beginning.
How was it watching?
How old were you around that time? Like, do you remember seeing your first Mike Tyson fight? How old were you?
Can't say I remember how old I was, but I do remember one time we rented one of the fights on pay-per-view. It was like $50, $60. It lasted like 2 seconds, and everybody was pissed.
Yeah. But it was Tyson.
Because we paid a lot of money for literally, he punched the dude like 2 times, and it was done. It was over with, and everybody was like, "Are you serious?" Like, he was mad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was
Mike Tyson.
It was Mike Tyson.
Speaking of Mike Tyson, you know what he's up to now?
I saw him wearing a bee outfit the other day.
Really?
I meant
not.
I swear to God, I'll show you a picture.
I meant more of like public appearances and things like that. He's actually the roast of Ric Flair is coming out. Shout out to Starcast 5 coming up at the end of July. I'm going to see that. But they're going to have the roast of Ric Flair. Mike Tyson's actually going to be one of the roasters. That'll be kind of cool.
Nice. That's awesome.
Wow.
You gotta show the audience. Show the audience what we're looking at.
What was that?
I throw it up on the screen. No, I don't know. He was like dancing, saying like, "I'm feeling beautiful." I don't know.
You don't know where it was originally posted though.
I was posted on Instagram, but
I gotta ask, what when you've become like a true blue, like complete fanatic fan of wrestling. What's gotten you into this wrestling fanaticism?
It's just the entertainment factor of it. I mean, I still watch some UFC and I still watch some boxing and things like that. But like you said, it pisses me off when I go and I spend $50, $60, $70 for a UFC pay-per-view and it's done in under 3 hours because fights end in submissions or knockouts or whatever the case may be.
Under 3 hours ain't too bad for $50, $60.
But you know what I mean? Like when it's supposed to be a 4, 5, 6 hour pay-per-view because they have 11 fights scheduled.
I don't think I've ever seen one of them.
They schedule 11 fights almost every single Saturday for a UFC fight night.
Yeah, but you only
I'm talking including prelims and all.
You want to watch like 3 or 4 of them.
Exactly, but that's the point. Is like I don't want to pay money to watch the 3 or 4 of them, and then all 3 or 4 of them end in under a certain amount of rounds. That's what I personally love about wrestling. That, like, even though it is scripted, it is still, like, those people still get hurt. That is still, like, you cannot.
We always call it the man soap opera.
And I mean, it is. There's a there's a lot of
soap opera because it's got a storyline behind it, and then you got your physical confrontations that go along with it, and people become enemies that were friends, and people become friends that were enemies, and I mean, it's basically it basically was a man's soap opera.
But I mean, just like with any other type of sport, there's different styles and different leagues when it comes to wrestling too. So I personally, I don't really watch the WWE. It is too much of, like you said, a man soap opera. They are too heavy on the storylines. The promotions that I follow, they're based more on the in-ring competition. So, yeah, you're still going to have your promos, but it follows more of that, like, 80s style of wrestling where it's just cut a promo about how I'm the biggest, baddest guy and I'm going to kick your ass and then go out to the ring and have a match, you know, back then when you were growing up. And then as they transitioned into the late 80s and early throughout the 90s, it became this big storyline soap opera phase where it was drama and this, that, and the other. And then you had the big resurgence. Or not resurgence, but the big, rise of Stone Cold and the whole, the common working man versus the white collar boss. And, everybody drawn into that because they could relate to it. Yeah. And so when you have a storyline like that people can relate to and it makes you that much money, you approach it from that business aspect. And it's like, okay, if I'm telling stories that people can relate to and that's what's bringing me in the millions and millions of dollars, that's what I'm going to keep doing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But the
it's always about money.
I follow a lot of Japanese wrestling. I follow a lot of Mexican wrestling. I follow a lot of European wrestling.
I'd have to agree. There is skill and practice that goes along into it. You can't just go out there and start flipping off the ropes and stuff like that and think you're not going to get hurt if you don't have practice.
And you got not
build your skill up. But
the biggest thing that a lot of people leave out is you got to know how to land too. Because if you don't know how to take a move properly and you land on your head the wrong way, I mean, that's it. That's your life right there. You're either dead or you're paralyzed if you don't land the right way. Am I boring you?
No.
I'll just shut up now. I guess I'll sit out.
Did I say anything about you boring me?
You dropped the damn microphone just like, fuck.
No, never mind.
I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, I was kind of holding it a little lightly, so
But
yeah, I mean, it's really just kind of what you're into. I mean, WWE's still popular because kids get into it and they love that storytelling and whatnot. But me personally, at 25 years old, I don't want to watch wrestling because so and so slept with so and so, or so and so's mad at so and so. I want to watch the hard hitting, physical, I mean, things like that, where it's like, I'm going to kick your ass, let's go do this, ring the bell.
At the same time, most of it is, in a lot of ways, it's fake because they practice all that beforehand. So that's why I kind of got out of the rock and wrestling.
That's scripted.
The scripted is fake. I'm not having this fucking argument.
Scripted's not fake.
Scripted is fake.
It's practice.
In reality TV, when they have a script, is that reality?
I mean, there is a lot of
It's fake.
If you don't know what you're doing, you can get really bad hurt. I mean, there is athleticism.
You want to know the closest? This is serious.
For a man my size to pick up a man 3 times my size with no problem and flip him over my back, there's just. Do
you want to know the closest thing that I would personally compare wrestling to be completely real?
The Kardashians?
No, it would be dancing. It would be dancing because
but
it is choreography and it is rehearsed.
Me and JJ, when growing up, me and JJ or Joshua used to watch wrestling. I mean,
I used to love wrestling.
We were huge fans of wrestling. We watched the hell out of wrestling together.
Do they pull some of the punches? Yes, absolutely. Do those punches miss some of the times? Yes. And do they act like they hit some of the times? Yes. But that's not every single time. If you watch a lot of it, I'll show you on camera if you want for the love of your viewers. But, they're hitting each other. They're just not hitting each other with their full force, so they can go out there and do it almost 300 nights a year.
I don't know. I love wrestling, but we've been on wrestling for too long.
No.
So what's it like for you to be a father, Joshua?
I love it, personally. It's one of the greatest challenges I've ever had. And to move from wrestling, but to compare it to video games, it's almost like an RPG. And just like every day, every moment, it's like a leveling up moment. You learn new stuff, and it's a new experience. And
Fuck them kids. Not y'all's kids. But fuck them kids.
I was gonna say you're one of his kids, so
I have to say, I feel as if I was
We gonna get into it, man.
unprepared.
We gonna get into it, man. Hold on. Don't spill too much because we gonna.
he said you're not the host. Damn it!
Oh, my bad,
We
my
gonna get
bad.
into it.
I thought we were just having bullshit and then talking here.
I mean, we was, but we gonna get into it because it was supposed to be like an interview, but
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
I
and
mean,
fun
it is
until
bullshit.
Until Matthew's not hosting it anymore, and we're just talking. Then
Oh, my bad,
we got
my bad.
back on track.
no,
My bad.
y'all talk,
It
y'all
is
talk,
just-
y'all can talk about whatever. I'm just saying we gonna get into it because I got some questions I was gonna ask.
Then
Sure.
ask some questions. Pipe in. Start talking.
Y'all have been talking about wrestling. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all's thing. It's podcast. Talk about whatever the
Talk
fuck
about
you
some
want.
wrestling. Talk about some wrestling. Jump in.
I don't watch wrestling.
I don't
Nothing
watch
to talk
wrestling
about.
either.
But you have memories of wrestling.
I love some UFC now.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite one was Undertaker and Kane.
And why was that?
I just like their like characters.
They were just brooding.
And
bastards.
which one had the?
Oh,
mask? Kane?
I met the Undertaker. That dude is so. That dude's
Oh, you
got to
told
be.
us this. Tell the story to the pod.
That dude's got to be 18'9". I swear, he's so big that he was walking. He was coming. He's coming coming towards the whatever the ring or whatever, and he had his music going and stuff, and of course he was, had that look on his face, and he's walking down the aisle. He had his big black hat on, and the kid next to me reached up and smacked his arm, like jumped up and smacked him like kind of on his chest, and he turned around and looked at me like I did it. And I'm like,
How old were you?
He was so massive. Like like his one arm was the size of my whole body. It
I
was
think he is
ridiculous.
I think he is like 6'8" though.
If
he's
I remember
stupid
correctly,
big.
he's either 6'6" or 6'8". And I want to
It's
say
different
his
when you
boobs-
actually see them in person.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to the TV.
Oh yeah.
There's I mean, just like even Hulk Hogan. Like I never really thought Hulk Hogan was like
He's about
much
6'6".
bigger than my father. But when I met him for the first time, I mean, he's freaking massive. His wife was pretty big. I mean, like not like big, but I mean, his wife at the time was, she was
Hogan's
so
about
tall.
6'6".
Yeah, she
Hogan's
was
about 6'6".
stupid tall. And
Also Rey Mysterio. That
But
was
see,
my
a lot
boy.
of
I don't know,
wrestlers
maybe
now.
them being on TV makes them seem larger than life too.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same thing with like basketball. Like all them players, like I think the shortest dude in the NBA right now is like 6 foot. So like
So
you
probably
see
about
like
your height.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
But I bet you if you saw him in real life,
I was about to
if
say,
you knew him,
well,
it looked like he was 6'5".
well Chris Paul's like 6 foot, so he's like my height. But
Yeah.
then like Curry, he's 6'3", LeBron's like 6'8",
So
and
I'm
they don't really look that big on TV.
So I'm about the same height as Curry.
Yeah,
Interesting. I didn't know that.
that's like an average size for a point guard.
But
A lot of
have
point guards are
you seen
6'3".
Shaquille O'Neal next to Kevin Hart? That is hilarious.
Right now, for a lot of just sports in general, really any 6 foot and up is kind of the golden height
Yeah,
right now.
I mean there is anomalies
And that's that's wrestling, that's UFC because you have more reach. That's boxing because you have more reach. Basketball because of reach.
Yeah.
I could see it being in football because of your lankiness. You can
tall kings,
yeah.
tall kings.
So I'm ready to hear these questions you got for me. I'm ready.
So we touched a
Where were
little
you
bit
on the night of the 13th? No.
Actually, that is a good quote. Where were you when 9/11 happened? Because I was like what 4 months old.
Yeah, something like that. And we were living at the house, and
That was about to draw the address.
it was a surreal moment when they decided to declare war, because at the time your mother was in a weapons of mass destruction recon decon unit, and the inactive. I'm not sure if it was inactive or active reserves, but anyway, of course, that's all they kept talking about was Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. Saddam Hussein had weapons. So I just knew she was fixing to go over there, and thankfully she didn't. But I was freaking out. I was fixing to be left with 2 kids. Oh my God! I'm just kidding. I could have handled it.
What were you doing though? Were you at work? Dad, you can put it up on the table.
No,
boss.
I don't think at the time.
You can put the beer up on the table. Boss.
It's all right, buddy. I got it.
He's gonna spill that shit.
I think I'm not sure. I think at the time I was not working actually. I think at that time I was in between jobs. I actually became a little obsessed with CNN, watching all that crap about the the war and stuff like that, because I was really worried that things were going to get a lot worse than they did. But then they won the war in like 10 days, so it was like whatever.
So the questions I kind of want to get into. So you go throughout your childhood. From my understanding, you ain't got to talk about it too much, but you're a little bit of a troublemaker, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That shit happens.
Yeah, when we get to our teenage years, we all think we're 10 foot tall, bulletproof, and can do whatever the heck we want. Nobody can tell us anything because we're smarter than them, and they could not have possibly have done or gone through anything that we went through. But the reality of it is that they have, and they did, and whatever. We as parents don't tell y'all things because we just think we're know-it-alls. We tell you things because we know the consequences, and we know what the outcome 9 times out of 10 is going to be, and we don't want you to have to face the consequences of your actions because we already know what they are.
Yeah,
9 times out of 10.
I'd say now,
right,
I'd say now probably 7 out of 10 because of how much technology has changed and everything. It's a whole different ball game.
Possibly,
not trying to be rude or anything, but it is a whole different ball game when it comes to childhood and social problems than it was when you were a kid. You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna lie. Today is
like you grew up in the age of like if you were a straight white male, you really didn't have to worry about too much harassment.
Yeah.
But anybody else, I don't know. You kind of lived in the ghetto, Dad. You probably had to worry about a little bit of harassment.
But
you know what I mean? Like
a lot because
the
I was
trenches.
white.
But you know what I mean? Like aside from that,
Straight
you know
out
what
the
I mean?
trenches, man.
Like now the kids growing up, they deal with all of they deal with, I call it the age of inclusion because everybody feels like they need to be included and brought up.
Yeah.
And a part of the conversation. So that's why I personally call it the age of inclusion.
Well, yeah, and there's just so much information out there now that we didn't have back like.
Literally the world at your fingertips.
Exactly.
Yeah.
you know everything that's going on. So a lot of things become desensitized.
Well, that brings up a question for me.
Like
How
violence and stuff. I mean, you see so much of it nowadays because of the internet and because of world news and things like that we didn't have when I was growing up. And you become desensitized to things, and then it's like you kind of get to a point where it's like whatever. It's just it is what it is at this point. And that's where that's why the world don't act the same as it used to. There used to be morals and stuff like that back when I was growing up. There used to be a code of honor or ethics or whatever, and it's just like all that stuff's gone out the window. Everybody's just desensitized to everything. They just don't care no more. It seems like to me.
But here's my thing, and I do agree with you, but I agree. Like when the after 9/11 and the war on terrorism started, I'm sure you probably just saw whatever they showed you on the news. They didn't have TikTok or Facebook or any stuff like that.
How long ago was that war again?
2001.
2001.
21 years ago.
Yeah, we had internet then. I mean.
Yeah, but this is where I'm going with it. The Russia
TikTok.
No, the Russia and the Ukraine thing. Like, I can literally scroll through TikTok and watch the war unfold.
Oh yeah,
now that's crazy.
I was about to say I can see people get shot. I can see people get bombed.
Yeah, but
they're not showing you that shit on news in 2002.
No, absolutely not.
All of it, but a lot of that has been around since the Vietnam War. I think it was the Vietnam War, either the Vietnam or the Korean War, whichever one was.
That's what I'm saying about being desensitized. Is because back in 2002, or even back in Vietnam, they filmed the war and stuff, but they didn't show you the true violence.
I was about to say.
Now, sorry. Even in 2002, they would show you bombings, but they wouldn't show you people dying.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like Matthew said, you can actually watch it unfold on TikTok or whatever.
Twitter.
And you can literally see people die. That's what I mean. Everything has become more and more desensitized. You've seen so much already that it just doesn't bother you anymore. And the more you see, the less things bother you. And it's.
But here's why.
That's what's crazy to me about it.
Here's why. Because I'm sure you remember because you told me about it. I'm sure you remember when the space shuttle blew up.
Right.
What was that, like 90?
So
88, something like that.
It was in the 80s.
I want to say it was like 88.
I have a horrible recall of time when things happen, but
my
yeah,
po-
I actually was watching. I was actually with my second grade class, and we were sitting outside. And of course, I lived so close to Cape Canaveral, we literally watched the shuttle go up and blow up. And that was, of course, as a child at 8, 9 years old, we weren't sure if that was supposed to happen or not. But when the teacher started telling us, "Come on, kids, go back inside," and then we all started getting out of school early. Of course, we knew something was wrong.
Yeah, that's when you started getting a little scared because all the parents and everybody around you's acting scared. So it's like, I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't seem good.
Here's this is the point. The point of me bringing that up is in today for people like me, 19 to 21 to 25, really, it's like the space shuttle blows up every fucking day.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You're desensitized to it. When I watched the shuttle blow up, I mean, that was heartbreaking. That was like, heart wrenching. I mean, it was a national tragedy. Now
you see
it blows up every day. It's like, oh well, it's just another thing that happens. It's just whatever. It's like,
and it's bad. It's bad that it's
horrible.
That way.
Yes,
but I mean, it's and this is gonna sound bad, but it's hard. It's hard to care. There's just so many fucking people. It's hard to care. You feel bad and you send your regards, but Buffalo happens, and then another shooting happens, and then it's shooting in Texas. I mean, how many more fucking prayers and condolences can we send?
Yeah,
can we talk about something a little bit more lighthearted? Can we?
I was trying to, but we started going down this path.
No, let's just cut it right now because, dude, we've talked about school shootings almost every fucking week I've been on
This
here.
is the reason.
But the whole point of
you making me look bad.
The whole point of my conversation is that you're completely right. It's hard to care because the space shuttle blows up every fucking day for us.
Yes.
Can I ask a more lighthearted question?
That even makes it harder these days to be a parent to kids because
this is the Father's Day podcast. Let's get back on track.
It is much harder to be a parent to kids these days because of all that stuff that you're exposed to that I was never exposed to.
Yeah.
There was so many things that y'all are exposed to that I never had to deal with. There's just too much at y'all's fingertips these days with the phones and the internet and the TikTok and the Facebook and the Twitter and it's too easy for y'all to get in trouble and it's too hard for parents that actually care and watch after their kids. That it's too hard for them to keep up because I mean, heck, I still have a hard time with technology. Y'all are whizzes at it. Y'all
good.
Know.
There we go. Technology. Good transition.
We're about to transition back to we're about to transition to something else.
So good at technology. Like y'all actually get in third grade. Y'all get to learn computers now. I didn't. Yeah. We didn't have no computer classes when I was a kid. Growing up, and there was no such thing as computer class.
They're sitting there click clack moo.
That was high school for us.
Cow does type.
But let's transition back because this is the Father's Day podcast. So you go throughout your childhood. How old were you when you find out you were having your first kid, which is obviously JJ?
Oh, wait, before we get out of the childhood, can I ask one more question?
If it's not about being a father, no.
It's a Father's Day podcast, and I have a question for my father. You ready to go shut that down? All right, I got a question.
Sure.
Everybody has like that memory when they come home, like they get an after-school snack. What was your like after-school snack when you were a kid?
The fuck?
I want to know shit about my father. Don't you what the fuck me? This is a Father's Day podcast, damn it. Let me learn something.
Okay, yeah, all right. I got a good one for you. Okay, so every day after school, when I was in elementary school, it was I used to collect garbage pail kids, like y'all collect baseball cards and stuff. And I don't know why, but I loved them damn things. And it was like the highlight of my day to get out of school and have 25 cents in my pocket and be able to pick up a pack of Garbage Pail Kids and open that pack up and see the new ones that I got and eat the bubble gum out of it. That's
the content that we need right here.
That was
Garbage Pail Kids.
Kick you off right now.
And I had like a huge book of them things, and I don't remember what happened to them. I mean, I think today they're worth. Some of them are considered to be worth money. If
No,
you can find
that's
the right
cool though.
collector, but
That's cool though. You were a garbage pail kid growing up.
I
That's kind
love
of cool.
it.
I didn't know
love
that
garbage
about
pail
you.
kids.
I don't know what that is.
So it was like they were like trading cards, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah, they were
baseball
like
cards.
they were like baseball cards or whatever, but instead of it being like actual things, they were like just different monsters, right?
Yeah, it was like
Go for our younger viewers.
Goofy,
Explain what garbage pail kids
like
are.
like one guy would be like snot blot or some stupid crap like that, and he'd have it'd be a guy with a big old snot wad coming out of his nose. Again, I don't know why I like crap
Just
like
silly
that, but it
kids,
was just funny.
just silly kid stuff though.
Yeah, it was silly kid stuff. I collected the shit out of them things.
But could you imagine that being the highlight of your day? Is waiting out at school with 25 cents in your pocket just to go get a pack of cards?
Every day.
That just seems like such a moment of bliss right there.
The
Like
highlight of my weeks are.
I didn't have like a special everyday snack though, like you were asking. Like I got home and I had Twizzlers waiting for me or something. It was just we were poor. It was whatever the heck you could find.
Well, I mean,
it might have been jelly
I didn't know
toast.
if you. That's what I mean. I didn't know if you had like a food hack
No,
for like the not trying to be rude, but for like the lesser fortunate out there. It's like every day I came home, mate. Like I've heard you get like the canned tuna, the chicken and the biscuit crackers, and hot sauce. Me personally, I don't like tuna.
we weren't even that privileged.
No food stamps.
We were not even that privileged to have
no
that.
food stamps.
It was jelly toast if you were lucky.
Jelly toast do slap though. You like jelly toast?
But anyway, so how old were you when you found out you were having your first kid?
17.
17.
Too damn young.
Too damn young. I heard that. Thank God I ain't got no kids.
And I do believe that your mother was afraid that I was gonna walk on her, and I'm obviously not that person, so I didn't, and it was I do not regret having Joshua at all whatsoever. I just wish that I would have made a better decision to have him a little older when I was more mature, because I do believe in a lot of ways that because I was so immature, I think I kind of messed him up a little bit.
Deleted for that.
What?
Jenny was talking about a co-hanger.
Are you fucking serious?
We're getting canceled. We're getting Me Too'd immediately.
Yeah,
We're getting Me Too'd immediately.
See what I mean? I was too young to have him.
So were you excited when you found out you were having a boy, or did you want a girl?
No, I was excited to have. I would have been happy with either, but I was very excited to have a boy. He was a big boy. Of course, he was 8 pounds, 8'10" or something like that. And the doctor, I think he got a kick out of when I was in the hospital watching Joshua be born. It didn't make me squeamish or anything like that. What did get to me though is when he handed me the scissors to cut the umbilical cord. That was weird in its own right, but when I cut the umbilical cord, the how do I say this in a pleasant way?
Placenta.
Yeah, don't try to help me, Joshua.
Okay.
You're not helping. So anyway, the fluids hit me in my face, and that's when I went numb.
Got squirted on.
Yeah, right here.
Okay,
I can't forget.
What else would you call it?
I cannot forget when I cut your umbilical cord. I got right here, and I was just I don't know.
Ambiotic
I went
fluid?
numb. I didn't pass out,
Did you
but
throw
I went
up?
numb. I don't know. I didn't get no.
I think the technical term is
My
ambiotic
face
fluid.
got numb. I don't know if it was the fluid that made it numb, or if it was just the fact that, oh my God, I just got squirted with this fluid that yeah. And
I'll tell you what.
I don't know. It was crazy.
As we get into the discussion about
But I
raising
was
boys,
there for all four of y'all.
Oof.
As births, and I was
raising boys is
it was
hell.
awesome.
So
It's amazing.
So
to-
what did you have JJ? So
Mhm.
what? Mama was in the army at that time, wasn't she? Or did she?
And he was 2 years old, 2.5 years old before she joined the army.
Okay, so what was the learning curve for you from having your first kid? Like, what did you learn from being a parent for the first time?
Patience.
I mean, I guess not the first time. But
Well, it was,
I know that one thing that I know for a fact that I had to learn was patience.
well, not only that, me and Dad had an entirely different relationship because of Dad's accident. I'll let him go more into it if he wants, but he had a fucked up hip when I was like really, really young. So when Mama went off to basic, it was just me and Dad a lot.
We had fun though. We had a
Oh
blast.
yeah, we had a blast.
Dude,
I'm
we
not
had a
saying that at
blast.
all. I'm just saying it was different in that aspect, whereas you weren't as mobile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like,
but it didn't stop us from doing nothing.
oh no, but like so like a normal day when Dad was hurting a lot, like as I'd pretty much just sit there and watch TV and play around all day, and then like when it was lunch, I'd bring me and Dad lunch because Mom would already have it made in the fridge.
Yeah.
Like I'd go get lunch for me and Dad, pull it out the fridge, bring it to us and whatnot.
Yeah.
Things like that. So I mean,
Yeah, he
it was
was-
different, but
he was
like,
definitely helpful.
oh yeah, it definitely. I think he needed that as a young parent as much as I needed that for our relationship now.
Yeah. So
I still remember the time when, because I had to take Joshua to all my therapies, and I was still getting the electrical therapy, whatever, and the doctor walked out the room, and I had my back turned to him, and he cranked that thing up, and it literally drew me up into a ball, and I couldn't move. I was drawn up into a ball because that thing, it was horrible.
I'm
screaming.
the fuck out of him.
Yeah, he turned it all the way up, and I should have been watching him, but he turned the thing all the way up, and when he did, I drew up. I was like, "Oh, turn it off, turn it off!" And I was screaming at the doctor, like, "Turn it off!" And so she finally come running in, and she turned it off for me. I was like, "Oh my god, take it off, just take it off." Yeah, he thought that was hilarious.
So do you want to go into your rec a little bit and just give like a gist of what happened? Because I mean we know what happened before the podcast.
Well, the wreck was I was going. I stopped at a red light, and when it turned green, I hit the gas, and it was 4 lanes of traffic with no center lane, and the lady come across 4 lanes of traffic from a driveway of, I think it was a country club or something, and she shot across all 4 lanes of traffic, and I thought she was going to turn into the 3rd lane because I was in the 4th. And she didn't. She turned right into me, and when she did, I hit the brakes, and then the wheels locked up, and it actually made the car go faster instead of slowing me down because I was on ice, and I hit a telephone pole dead on about 50 miles an hour. I didn't have my seatbelt on, so people wear your seatbelt because it does help. And yeah, it shattered my pelvis because when I hit the brake, my knee locked down, and as I came forward, my leg went through my hip.
Ugh.
And I hit the windshield with my head because I didn't have my seatbelt on. Split my mouth in half. And then I had to have a bar drilled through my leg while I was awake watching. That was not fun.
That's gotta be fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds very painful.
It was a traction bar, and the doctor told me not to look, and I couldn't help myself. I looked. I watched. I pretty much
Did you
believe
feel it?
No, I didn't feel it.
I hate to interrupt, but that is one of the worst fucking things ever a doctor could say. Like, let's think about it on the real, like, all right,
That's like when
we're gonna
somebody
put
tells
a
you not to
bar
look
into
down.
your knee now.
It was-
don't look. Like,
It
what
was
do you mean,
it was
don't
drilled
look?
through my leg with a hand crank drill. Like
Jesus fuck.
Holy shit!
And the bar was about, I'd say,
And you got a metal hip, don't you?
it was about 24 inches long. at
What
least.
year was this?
It's a titanium hip. It's not. It's a titanium plate that it looks like it literally looks like a bicycle, like what you would like lock your bike up with. The chain. There's nine links. They look, and then there's 5 screws that are about that long that go through each. It goes through every other link, and you said what now, Matthew, Joshua?
I said, what year was that?
1999, January 31st, or July 31st of 1999. I do remember that part.
God damn.
And I was on crutches for 6 months, a cane for 6 months, and I had to sleep with a machine every single night that would move my leg like this
While you slept?
while I tried to sleep, but it was to keep me from getting blood clots in my leg.
Yeah,
it was
it's
horrible.
Fucking wild.
But yeah,
Insane.
shattered
So
my
wait,
pelvis to 5
how
pieces.
old was JJ at that time?
He was
I would have been like
about a
2.5.
year. No, you're only about a year.
No,
you
July.
you hadn't quite turned 2 years old yet.
Dad, I was born in February, July of '99.
No, you were 2. You were definitely 2 years old. So
2.5.
okay, maybe you
February
were
of '97 to July of
You
'99.
hit a windshield at 50 miles an hour. It kind of makes your memory kind of a little.
No, I get that. I mean, I'm just.
You are terrible with birthdays. You've always thought my birthday was May 5th.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Cinco de Mayo.
Maybe you were supposed to be born May 5th. I still make it to your birthday though.
But anyway, so you have JJ, and what are we 5 years apart? 4 years apart.
Mm.
97 and 01.
Yeah. So we're 4 years apart. So how was it? So JJ is 4 years old now. You've been a parent for 4 years.
Yeah, and so I told your mom. I said it's time. We got to have. If we're gonna have more kids, we need to go on and have them.
Did y'all want more? Did y'all want more kids?
Yeah,
Did you
absolutely.
want more than one kid?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So
Why just screw up one person? I need to screw up four or five of y'all.
Okay. That's fucking wild. So what?
Just kidding.
How did you feel when you first of all found out that mom was pregnant with me?
Excited. Yeah, I mean it was. I mean we were trying, so at that point in time, it was like I said, Joshua was 4 years old, and it was like, okay, if we're gonna have more kids, we need to go on and have them because I didn't want to.
I already got a titanium hip, man.
Spread it out.
I love both
too
my kids,
far.
but I was never excited. I was just like, oh,
Well,
okay, we gonna have
you
babies.
can never be prepared. You can never be prepared for a child. I don't care if you plan it. You can never be prepared for a child. It's just not possible. Just like you can plan anything you plan. You can never be necessarily all the way prepared. Something, especially kids. A child. That's a life-changing experience. Completely
You
life-changing.
can
But
be completely prepared for a dentist appointment.
not everything you can be
I
completely
don't think
prepared
it's on
for.
the same level.
But anyway, yeah. It's
You're supposed to go to the dentist every 6 months.
I don't think it's the same
even
level.
if you plan to have a child, you're not ever going to be completely prepared for a child. I mean, children are a big.
So were you happy that you were having another boy, or did y'all want a girl?
Well, of course, at the time it was like okay, we got a boy, so hopefully we get a girl, but we're happy with whatever. It wasn't like it was a disappointment that you were a boy. I mean, at all.
You were this close to being shipped off.
What was? Because I remember Mama told me, but what was supposed to be my girl name? I was a girl.
Well, the name that I wanted to have, your mom would. I don't know. She just didn't.
How did y'all get Matthew?
agree with? I want to say it's something. It's your mom's side of the family.
It is something with Mama's side.
Or yeah. Well, Tom. No, I know Thomas has something to do with your mom's side of the family. Matthew, we just kind of, we just agreed that Matthew was a good name. We liked it. It sounded good. It was a good name.
Terrible.
And I mean, honestly, Joshua, your name was we just couldn't figure it out. So it was like, fuck Junior. I mean, I like my name, so he can have my name.
And we said his name like a dickhead name, like Ryan or something,
You think I'd be a dickhead more if I was more of a dickhead if I was Ryan?
or like a Chad.
But if you were a girl, I wanted.
If you was a Chad, I'd have to
Chadwick.
make fun of you.
I'd have to be a Chadwick.
I fuck with Chadwick, but Chad is still.
But I'd have to be a Chadwick to be a Chad because that's what
No disrespect to the
Chad is.
people named Ryan or Chad. I fuck with y'all. We can do better.
I think John.
Timothy.
I think John is more of a.
Timothy is that's a dickhead.
Jimothy.
I honestly think
Jimmy.
John is like the more dickish name of all the names.
John?
Like it seems like every time I meet a John, for the most part, not necessarily every John that I meet, because I have met
Nah, Kyle's fucking suck.
one or two. Yeah, but
No hate to any of the
Not-
Kyles that I haven't met that don't suck. But
Those
all
are-
the Kyles that I've met
most
suck.
of the Johns that I've met have always been assholes.
I met a
That's
couple.
the-
I met a couple good Johns.
What's another
I met a couple
asshole
good Johns.
sounding name?
You got Chad. You got
Chris.
But can I go back to the girl name? Because
Yeah.
you did ask me that question. I want to go ahead and get it out of the way.
Gabriella.
Sarah Elizabeth was the name that I wanted to choose for a girl, and the reason why was because my great grandmother was Elizabeth, and my grandmother was, and y'all's great great grandmother and great grandmother was Sarah.
Yeah, grandma friend.
So
Oh,
yeah,
Sarah
I just I think it's a pretty name. I think Sarah Elizabeth. Yes, it's old school, but it's pretty. It's a pretty name. It goes together.
What if they wanted to name you like Myrtle?
That's an old ass fucking name.
For what- yeah,
Like, what if
for-
you got
for
saddled?
whatever-
Myrtle is a old ass fucking
And
name.
for whatever reason, your mother was absolutely against Sarah. She just wasn't having no Sarah Elizabeth. She did let me have Elizabeth, but she wasn't letting me have no Sarah. She wasn't doing it. So
That's fair enough. Myrtle's an old ass name, just like Maida.
What do you got, like Helga?
Margaret.
Helga?
It's old
Wow.
ass names. So you got 2 kids now. You got 2 kids, man. So what'd you learn from having me? Did you learn anything new, or was it just more patience?
patience. I learned patience. I learned that you have to have patience, and I mean I can't honestly say, none of y'all were really really bad kids. I mean Joshua was a little tough. I mean he was a little bit more boisterous and adventurous.
I speak my mind and I will be heard.
And I feel like I was so young when I had him that you know, some of the things that I was doing weren't necessarily proper ways to teach him. Like, now I wouldn't teach him nothing like real bad, but I mean, just my actions alone taught him to be a little less.
I was shooting up heroin at 3 months.
It's fucking crazy.
In between the toes, so you can't find the track
I love you,
marks.
Joshua, but your brother learned from your mistakes, and he's always been like the good kid. You know, you were a good kid, but you for the most part, but you were a little bit more mischievous.
You know the fastest way to get drunk?
What the fuck?
Put it in your ass.
We're wrapping up the pod.
See
We're wrapping
what
up
I'm
the
talking
pod
about
right now.
You see what I did to him right there. That's
They did it on
exactly what I'm
Jackass.
talking
You
about.
put
They did that on Jackass.
You putting a beer in your ass is crazy.
They did it on Jackass. They put a foot.
No, you did it.
Steve-O.
You
Well,
did
exactly
it.
what
I
I'm
don't want
talking
to talk
about.
about my personal life.
All right.
But they
Too
did it on
young.
Jackass too. Steve-O did
This
it.
is exactly why you don't have children
Quick.
Funnel it in.
That's
at
getting
17 and
quick.
16 years old, people.
That's getting posted on TikTok. That's fucking crazy.
You hear me?
What?
I told the whole world.
Haven't you
That's
ever heard
why
that-
you don't have children at 16, 17?
Haven't you
years
ever
old
heard the
right there.
age-old expression, don't knock it till you try it?
Shut the fuck up.
What, all right, what about this phrase? When in Rome.
We're wrapping it up. We're wrapping it up. I can't believe this motherfucker. So you got 2 kids at this point. You know, we're all we were together for a while, and then you know you and mom ended up getting divorced,
Yeah,
which I really didn't care because you know 2 Christmases and shit. So
So at what point did you unload the gun and say, all right, I got to be a father?
what the fuck?
Well, after you were born, of course.
Oh, thank God.
It's like can't kill myself now.
What if it was like, well, it really wasn't until after Taryn. And I was like, whoa, what? Wait a minute.
I done got one.
She's the youngest.
But so you know you got 2 kids.
Yeah, she still has a chance at this point.
Yeah. You know, you got 2 kids at this point. You know, you and mom ended up splitting up. I'm being real. That really didn't. I mean, I guess it kind of sucked, but like that really didn't.
Did you ever get the urge to, go get milk late at night?
You ain't gonna answer that. Are you falling asleep right now?
I'm just listening to y'all. Cause y'all,
can't deal with this shit.
sometimes I wonder where I went wrong.
You can go wrong, man. We're just asking questions. So me and JJ are 4 years apart, and then you end up having our sister. What? How old is Riley? 16,
Riley
14?
14. Yeah, she's 14 now. She'll be 15 next
So
year.
what?
14 and
So
a half.
I'm 7 years older than her. You're 11.
Mhm.
So you have another kid. You have our sister Riley.
She was born on President's Day that year.
Was she?
She was. Yeah, she was.
Well, hell, Roman was.
Because we
born
were out
on-
of school.
Roman was born on Thanksgiving. Rayleigh was born on.
It
New Year's.
was. I love my son to death, but he completely fucked up my whole Thanksgiving day. I was going to eat so much food that day.
We brought y'all a plate.
I know, it wasn't enough.
You're such a fat fucking whore.
Dude, I love food, man.
Callie.
If there's anything that being a father has taught me, is that you got to eat whatever your kid eats or the woman that you're with is pregnant.
Maybe it
eats.
should teach you that you get no bitches. Anyways.
Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
So anyway, so you got 2 kids at this point. Did you want to have another kid, or was it just something that happened?
It was one of them things again. You know, I guess I hadn't learned how that happened, how that all worked out by that time.
Doesn't it sound like he loves us so much? Like, were you excited to have another kid? Well, it happens. Shit. You have kids, you die.
I mean, I don't think a lot of people plan to have a kid. I think
Yeah,
most. I'm not saying they're I mean, they are.
I'm being
accidents, but,
honest.
Like it's
No,
not
he
like
just sounds so.
I'm
unenthused.
just being honest. You know, what I mean, like when I found out that Riley, was on her way. Of course, I was like,
There we go.
Not
Get
now.
to
Not
the
now.
juice of it. Son of a bitch! God damn it, a girl! I've done so good with 2 boys.
you don't find out the sex of the baby for a few months.
Were you happy
You
you were
should
having a
never
girl?
have sex with a baby.
No.
Were you happy that you finally got a girl?
Well, yeah, of course. Of course. And I would have been happy with whatever it was.
For guys, it's different. Like we don't really give a shit.
Oh no, I cared.
Did you want a girl?
Hmm?
Did you want a girl for your first?
With
child?
Raylene, oh, it was funny as shit. All up until the reveal, I was like, "It's a boy." I put it there. I know.
Okay.
That was literally my exact words. I'd say it all the time.
Psychic now,
They'd
apparently.
be like, "Are y'all having a boy or a girl?" I was like, "It's a boy." They're like, "How do you know?" I was like, "I put it there. I know." And then we found out it was a girl, and I cried.
Wow.
Tears of joy. And they were like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I
Were
was
you
being
happy when
dad to a little
Were you happy when you
princess."
finally got a boy?
Oh yeah, I was elated. Started thinking of names right off the bat.
Shout out Roman,
I
man.
knew exactly what I
Roman.
was gonna name them. I had a backup too.
Shout out my niece and nephew, dog.
If Roman didn't end up being Roman Elias, you wanna know what his name was gonna be?
Harold.
Grayson Steele Ferguson.
Grayson is such a dickhead name. Please don't. Thank God you didn't do that shit, because that is fucking...
Now Raylene, we didn't have a name. We didn't have a backup name. It was Raylene Ann Ferguson.
Should name her Ronald.
Ronald McDonald Ferguson.
Be crazy. So, 3 kids, man. Well, you got 4. We'll get into the 4th here, man. But 3 kids, man. So what did you learn from having a girl that you didn't learn from having 2 boys?
Shoo! I tell you what, girls are that's a whole other animal right there.
I told you, man. That's a
Whole different ball game.
What was it like
It's
being
different because of the fact that you got to be more sensitive, or it's just a lot. It's a lot different. Just really is a lot different. It's hard to explain.
Is it how I guess like how different it is being a girl dad than a guy dad?
Well,
Other than like the sensitive side, but like
I
do
couldn't
your
tell you.
emotions run different?
I couldn't tell you. I've never been a girl before.
I'm saying being a girl dad, being a dad
a
for
father of a girl.
You got to be able to be in touch with your feminine side.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, and I hate admitting this, but when the first time I ever caught her wearing a sports bra, I teared up. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me! She's not old enough to be in any kind of bra." But for sure, yeah, I teared up a little bit when I.
Well, I'm not there yet, but for me, it's being more in touch with my feminine
Well,
side.
you used to wear a sports bra.
I never was my problem. You're thinking of you during your sweatpants phase there, bud.
Oh god.
Man, you used to have them little man titties going on. Like
I still got
11
man
years old.
titties. I started going back to the gym though. So
Awesome.
Yeah, for like when before Raylene was born, I was like, I don't know what you would necessarily call it, but I wasn't playing with any dolls or anything like that. Now, I mean, I've let Raylene do my makeup. I've let her paint my nails before. Like,
Yeah, that's something
that's
else
what
about
you do.
having a
It's
girl.
what you do for your girls.
Yeah,
Like,
that's definitely something else you do for your girl. That
you learn to be more in tune with your feminine side and it not bother you nearly as much as it did when you're 16 years old and you look at something and be like, oh, that's gay, just because it's not super manly. You know what I mean, you know.
so you know you got me and JJ now. You don't worry. How old were you had Riley?
how old was I? Well,
That was 14 years ago.
Yeah.
You're what, 43?
Yep.
So 29. Yeah. So you know, we're just gonna be real about our last. So we're just gonna be real about it. So we all know, well, us 3 know that technically, Taryn is not your biological daughter.
Right.
So why did you decide to step up to the plate and be that father figure for her? You gonna answer the question?
I'm sorry.
Are you dozing off right now?
I'm tired.
What the fuck?
I'm tired. son.
Bored?
I'm just tired.
Did you sleep last night?
Yeah, slept last night. Tired.
This
I was
motherfucker.
sleeping.
This
What time
motherfucker.
did you go to bed last night?
It was a little late.
He just asked if you slept.
We're about to go get some
I
food
did
after
sleep.
this, man. Maybe you weren't drinking that nasty ass ice house.
Sitting here on the couch makes me ding. I don't know. Sitting down makes me tired. I gotta be moving around.
We're about to go get food after this. Maybe that'll wake you up.
All right.
And you got to do a tattoo, so please fucking wake up. I beg you.
If I'm doing something, I do
I
wake
beg you, because if you fall asleep while doing
something
I'm not doing nothing though. That's why I'm sitting here
if
just
you
talking.
fall asleep doing my tattoo, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
I'm sitting here talking and
I'm feeling that shit go all the way down my fucking calf. I'm like, Dad, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna feel a fucking line going.
What did you
down
ask
my
me?
leg. Oh my god. You're 43, not fucking 83.
You wait till you get 43. Wait till you get 43. You'll find out.
This He's dozing off like he's fucking 83 years old, bro.
I'm this motherfucker now.
Oh,
I'm this
I
motherfucker
love you.
now.
I love you. I love you. God damn, that's hilarious. Holy shit.
Sorry.
This motherfucker. He's over here like this. I asked him the question. I look at him. He's like, What'd you say? What did you say?
Sorry.
I understand you're a grandparent, but fuck.
I think the worst part is
What did you ask me?
he didn't even ask you what the stock prices were. What's it like being a father?
I guess that's how it is. Fucking falling
me.
asleep, sitting up.
That is exactly what it's like being a father. It's fucking tiring.
So what I asked you is I was like, Taryn's not your biological daughter. So what was it like stepping up to the plate for her and basically taking on a fourth kid?
It didn't really feel any different, honestly. It didn't
It
feel
was just like you had another kid.
yeah.
You gotta put that one on TikTok.
That's fucking.
No
hilarious.
question. Nigga, are you sleeping?
Oh no, that's getting clipped, brother. Because falling asleep in the middle of the podcast is
what's gonna make you
crazy.
go viral.
You can take TikTok it, but don't put it on the podcast.
Oh no, what's going on the podcast?
That's going viral.
To be real, we're already hour in. Most people don't watch this long.
So
I usually get like 20 minutes usually.
so yeah,
until they see
it
that
doesn't
clip, they're
it
gonna be
doesn't
like,
really
what the
it
fuck?
didn't really I don't know. When I watched her be born, it was just like watching one of y'all be born. It was just as I don't know. I fell in love with her just like I fell in love with y'all. You know,
Was it all 4 natural births or were there any C-sections?
No, all 4 natural.
Yeah, I've seen both. That's all. Ooh,
Were we big kids?
I'm big. I'm a big boy.
JJ was the biggest.
Fat ass.
Damn right.
Yeah,
I'd be
then,
thick.
Taryn,
2
you know,
C's?
of course,
Thicker than a
Taryn,
Snicker.
Taryn was obviously the smallest. She was only 6 pounds when she was born. You were like seven something,
Fat ass.
and Riley was.
You probably like 20.
I think Riley. I actually think Riley was about 8 pounds or so. So yeah, you and Taryn were the smallest ones, and JJ and Riley were the bigger ones.
Well, so
boy?
we done an hour. You're falling asleep on the podcast, so I guess we'll wrap it up and go get something to eat. But the last question I got you is, do you have any advice for the dads out there, whether it be a single father or a father that maybe is struggling with parenthood? Do you have any advice for the people out there that may watch this podcast?
But don't fall asleep sitting around where you're talking to your kids. But
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. That's fucking great. We got that shit on camera too.
I'm tired. I'm sorry. Tired.
Caught in 4K.
I work a lot. But no, I mean, just love them as best as you can. Love them as much as you can. I mean, that's all I could really think of. I mean, just love them as much as you possibly can.
That's good advice, man. But I do got one more thing before we wrap it up. I got to tell y'all a story.
Sure.
So the other night, I got off work. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. So I got off work and I go get gas and I stopped by QT and there's this older black dude walking down the road. And I get out of my car and I had my hair pulled up because it was in my face and shit. So I pulled it up and it's hot as fuck in that factory. So I was sweating like a whore in church. So I get out of the car and I hear this motherfucker calling me, but he's not like, sir, he's, ma'am. I was like, what's up, bro? He was like, hey man, do you mind grabbing me a drink? I was like, what you want, dog? He was like, and he's all the way at the street, so I'm like yelling in the middle of the parking lot. And I'm like, what you want, bro? He's like, can I get, you mind getting me a grape soda? I was like, yeah, bro, give me a second. So I walk in there, I grab me some food, grab me something to drink. I grab him a drink, and I grabbed him like a bag of chips or something, because I'd imagine if he was asked for a drink, he was probably pretty hungry too. So I do that, and I give it to him, and I guess the whole point of this story is, we have a lack of a lot of things in this world, whether it be fucking chicken wings or gas or oil. But I feel like one thing we lack a lot in this world is, especially today, is love. I think one thing we lack a lot in this world is love.
Oh, absolutely.
I understand that, times are hard right now. Cost of living is fucking crazy. Gas is, I mean, it's like 5:40 where we are almost. Uh, but I understand that maybe you don't have the extra money to hand out to people, but when you really think about it, it's $2, bro. It's $2 to go grab somebody a drink if they ask for it. Because if you were out on the street and you needed something to drink or you haven't drank or anything in days, you'd hope that somebody would get that for you. So we need more love in this world, bro. It costs $2. It costs like $1.60 to go get a drink. If you can stop and get $20 in gas and grab you something to eat and grab you a drink, then clearly you can spare $2. The fuck you gonna do with $2? I mean, you're not putting gas in the whip with it. You're not even getting a gram of weed with that shit. So I mean,
I agree.
If you got $2, man, just be nice to people, bro. You don't know what people are going through. It's already a shitty world that we live in, and I'm not saying you're a shitty person if you can't buy that man a drink, because I do understand that maybe you don't have the extra money, but if you have your chance to stick your neck out and be good for somebody, do it. Just do it, bro. You don't need nothing in return to be a good person. And honestly, it makes you feel better than it may make them feel. That man just wanted a grape soda, and I grabbed him a grape soda and a bag of chips, and that could have potentially made his whole day. So
Could change his whole life.
I was about to say, so we lack a lot of things in this world, but one thing we lack the most is love and compassion for others, especially today. So I mean, I know we talk about a bunch of bullshit on here. And, we talk about some negative things like the shootings these past few weeks and stuff like that. But one positive message I do want to give y'all, and we try our best to stay positive on here. We try our best to keep it raw and real and show you real emotions or real thoughts. I don't try to bullshit y'all. But, try your best every day to be a better person, no matter what it be, whether it be buying somebody a drink or paying for somebody in the drive-thru. And to be a good person, you don't have to spend money on somebody. Maybe just asking people like, hey, bro, how's your day going? You doing okay today? Shit like that helps a lot. Are you falling asleep again?
I'm listening.
But, so like I said, we lack a lot of things in this world. But one thing that everybody has in them that we shouldn't lack at all is love. And we lack that a lot today. So, just be a good person, bro. I understand that maybe you don't got it, but it's $2. If you're that worried about $2, I don't know what to tell you.
You should pay him back.
Huh?
You should pay him back if they're that worried about it.
Pay who back?
Whoever's worried about it.
They're not getting paid back. Well, no, that's crazy.
That's your nice thing.
I mean, I try my best to help out where I can. I pay for people in the drive-thru and stuff, and I try to tip well.
Yeah, but you don't help me with gas when I'm struggling.
I just forgot about that. I'm gonna be real.
Wow. You're about as bad as Dad falling asleep over there.
Sorry, I'm tired.
But anyways, we're gonna wrap it up, man. Peace, love. Be a good person every day. Strive for greatness every day. Try to be a better person every day. But happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, the single fathers, the stepdads, the people that are struggling in parenthood. Happy Father's Day to y'all, man. Y'all for a boy, for a man growing up, having a dad or a father figure in your life is probably one of the most important things. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a mama's boy, but my dad has taught me a lot. My mom has taught me a lot. So, but appreciate y'all, man. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. We're gonna wrap it up. Like, comment, subscribe, and y'all have a great day, man. Appreciate it.